guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for your support, always watching and sharing this video. I'm going to sew the style you saw on my thumbnail. I have a video on how to make a pencil slit, so you can refer to that one. Okay, so this is the fabric we are going to use. The length of the fabric is from my shoulder to underbust plus 1 inch, and so from my shoulder to underbust is 15, and then plus 1 making 16. So I have exactly 16 here. And the breadth, this is for front, this is for back, and so the breadth is half of my shoulder measurement, which is 8. My shoulder is 16 divided by 2 is 8, and so 8, then I added the sleeve length to it, and the sleeve length I have here is 18. Okay, then I have I want the design of this to be at the sleeve end, so I'm going to join the middle of it. That is why I have this there. I'm going to join it, and this is for the back, and this is going to be our zip allowance. So everything is supposed to be equal here at the sleeve ends here. Therefore, when I sew this, when I join the middle, it's going to be like this. It's going to be like this. Okay, and everything will be okay. Okay, so we are going to place our measurement on it. So I will first mark our shoulder, half of our shoulder, which is 8. So this is our 8. Okay, and the neck width that we are using a neck width of 3 inches. You can use 3.5, 3 inches. And then the neck width for the back, the neck deep for front, we are going to make it 4 inches. Neck deep for front is going to be 4 inches. The neck deep for back is going to be 2 inches, or 1.5. You can make use of 1.5. We are going to make it 1.5, so 1.5. And then okay, I'm going to join the front neck. Then I'll take this and I'll join the back neck, 1.5. Okay, now I'll come to this side and I'm going to measure for the shoulder slope. I'm going to measure 1.5, and I'm going to join it from there to the neck line. Okay, so this is, now I'm going to measure my shoulder to bust is 12. Shoulder to bust is 12, but I'm going to measure 12.5 here. Okay, so my bust is, you see, I'm placing my measurement on this line. Okay, so my bust is 44 divided by 4 is going to give me 11. I'll add 2 inches allowance, and that's going to be 13. So 13, and this is not a fitting dress, so I'm going to add about 1 inch to it, and that's going to be 14. Okay, so 14 here. Okay, and so from the 14, I'm going to slant it to join the ends of the fabric. From here, I'm going to slant it, so it's going to be like this. And for here, I'm going to just curve it this way and take it straight down. So this is it. And so this is it. And so this is all. We are going to cut this out and we are done. And what we are going to do, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to sew the middle here, and we are going to place this on lining and cut the same for the lining. Now when it comes to sewing the middle, I'm not going to the front part, I'm not going to sew up to the neckline. I am going to leave about 5 inches, so I will sew up to this point. I will join up to this point because the front, it's a bit open, it's open there, so either 5 inches or 4 inches. 4 inches will do, so I'll sew it up to 4 inches, and that'll be okay for me up to this point, and that'll be okay. So I'll cut lining for both and then come and show it to you. This is going to be my band. So what you do is, when you measure your shoulder to waist, that's your half length, then you deduct your shoulder to underbust from it. The rest is going to be for your band. So I have 4 inches here. Okay, so I'm using 3 inches band. You can use 3 inches band and then deduct it from your half length, and the rest you use it for your shoulder to underbust. It will still be okay. Okay, so what I have here, this is for the front. So you just have to measure your waist divided by 4 plus allowance. My waist is 36, divided by 4 is going to be 9 plus 2, so I have 2.5 here, and that's okay. This is for zip allowance. I'm going to reduce it by ½ inch so that it will match with the upper part of the dress. So this is going to be my band. Okay, and this is going to be this is what I'm going to use for my gathers. Now with the gathers, your top length, then you deduct your shoulder to waist from it. And so my top length is 25. When I deduct my shoulder to waist from it, which is 17, I will remain with 8 inches. So 8 inches, I have about 1.5 extra for sewing allowance, which will be okay. And the breadth depends on how much fabric you want to gather. So what I have here is, I have 48 folded into 2. That's going to give us 106. So this is it. So you can make it your waist times 3 for the gathers, or your waist times 2, but make it times 3 plus sewing allowance and everything. And so I'm going to cut lining for this, and then we'll continue. Okay guys, so I am done cutting lining for each, and I've attached the lining to the fabric. This is the back of it, so I attach the lining and give it a top stitch. Okay, and this is the front, so I attach the lining also, and I also added stiff or stay to it, and so you can also do the same. So what you are going to do now is we are going to add dart to the back pattern. So the dart I'm going to use is 5, that is 10. So I'll mark at 5, and the band that I'm going to use, these are the bands for the back pattern. So this is it. So I'm going to make sure that I'll get everything to be equal with the band. So the rest is what I'm going to put it in a dart form. So this is it for one side of the band. And so I have about I have about 2 inches. You can decide if you don't want to add that to it, you can decide to trim the 2 inches off the back. That I want. I'm going to add that to it. So 2 inches, and then so I'm going to mark 1 inch on each side. Then I'll come here also, the same thing. I'll measure 5 and then mark 1 inch on each side. And I'm going to use the dart length of 8 inches. So let me see, 5 also here. So this is for the back. Okay. So 8 inches, and let me measure my 5 here. Okay. So this is it. I'm going to hold them with pins this way. So this is it for the back. You see, okay, this is the front pattern. We are going to determine our darts here also, 5. And then I'm going to mark 1 on each side, just as I did for the back. And then I'll measure 5 also here, and 1 on each side. Now with the front dart, I'm not going to hold it like the way I did for the back. I am going to gather it. So I'll just use my thread and needle and sew from here this way. So it's going to, I'm going to hold it this way. And then take it back again. I'm holding it tight, very tight here. Okay, so this is it for the front part. Now when we turn it, we have it this way. You see, so this is it. And so what we are going to do is we are going to add our band to it, and the band too, I have stiff in them. So this is it. So I'll just attach it this way and sew on top. Okay, so I have about 1 inch here. I'm going to make sure I'll gather it to join the rest. Okay, then I'll attach it this way all through, sew on top. Okay, and then this for the back too, I'm going to do the same thing. I will sew the dots. I will sew the dots. After, I'll just take one of the bands and then attach it from the zip line straight and sew on top, and do the same thing also for this side, straight and sew on top. Okay, so after sewing the dots, the next thing that I'm going to do is to join the shoulder. I'll join the shoulder this way, so front and back together. I'll open up this way and then make sure that you see lining meeting lining, everything should be equal, and then I'll sew it through. So this is it. I'll sew here all through from the lining side, join everything through together, join everything together straight to the ends of the fabric. So I'll do for both sides, then I'll come and show the result to you. Okay guys, so I'm done attaching the band to it, and I'm also done joining the shoulders. Okay, so where I have marked is where I'm going to attach my goddess. That's where I'm going to attach my goddess. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my measurement to this. So the waist measurement is 36, so 18. 18, so I have 2, 4, 5. So I'm going to mark 2.5 on each side. Okay, then I'll come to the sleeve part here. Now what I'll do is, before I'll join this, I will sew the sleeve ends and the lining together. I will turn it this way, and join it together, so this side will go inside. Okay, so let me add my measurement here. So I'm going to mark 1 inch here, so 1 inch. So for here, okay, 24, so I need 22, so I'm going to mark 1 inch also here. Okay, so it's going to go like this way. Okay, and then this way. So this is, so I'll join it this way. Okay, this is what I'm going to use for my goddess. That's what I'm going to use, and I have a very long thread here. I am going to gather it 36 plus 3 inches, making 39. The 3 inches is for the zip allowance, so I have, the thread is longer than that, it's about 52 inches. Okay, so you can use your machine to gather it, but I'm going to use my hands for it, my needle and thread for this. Okay, so here is it. I'm done gathering it. So here is it. So after joining everything together, after joining this together, I'm going to attach it from the zip line here. I'm going to attach it from the zip line this way. This way, and then sew it all around. So I'll do that and come and show it to you. Okay guys, so here is it. I'm done joining everything together, and so here is it, the sleeve side. This is the back. Also, I've added my zip to it, and what I did was the upper part here, I closed the upper part here, so the zip starts from this place. If you don't know how to attach a zip to a dress, I have a video on that. I'll leave the link in the description box for you to watch. Thanks so much for being part of this channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for your comments. Bye bye.